a guy came up to me in the street. I hope I can get away with this. It's a beauty.
In other words, if you were me, what would you do now?
Well, just wrap it up.
I don't see no black and white couples in England or America walking around proud holding their children.
What it needed, of course, was you to say at some point, which you'd never done before, I need help. So what was the moment when you decided to do that?
It's very hard to say you need help, because you think you can solve all your own problems.
Performs like a playboy?
I have my moments.
That's all we have time for. She's got the job, she's passed the audition, she's done my pub next week. Madonna, thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Thank you for watching. From all of us here, a very good night. Good night.
So, Michael, it seems a little unfair having to interview you like the local tennis coach having to play Roger Federer.
That's very nicely put. I don't know what it means, but I think that there's a collegialism of interviewers, so we treat each other quite well. I think we understand what the problem is. So we sense the fear.
There's a line in the novel Madame Bovary that's something like, we must not touch our idols because the guilt might rub off on our fingers. When you've met or interviewed people of whom you're a fan, has the shine often come off, or more often has it been a happy experience?
I don't expect too much. I mean, I appreciated them as another person before I became an interviewer as a star or whatever. They had the gloss, after a bit of patient probing, that you could get somewhere near to a different person, the person that they really were. I think that's great. Otherwise, I don't think it was worth doing.
How did you relax people? Because it's not a very relaxing environment, a television studio.
The initial contact is the first thing, and the eye contact is terribly important. Well, I mean, on my show, your show's lovely because you sit down and chat away and then away we go. I used to make people walk downstairs to a band playing, come on. They'd stand at the top of the stairs and they'd have all their makeup on, all that sort of thing, and there'd be 500 people in the audience, 10 million people watching at home. They knew all that stuff, all the stats and things. And then the floor manager would say, enjoy yourself. What? Are you crazy?
Who's the most charming person you've ever met?
Oh, Tom Hanks. Rod Hull, the emu.
I wouldn't know what to look for.
Those things you get remembered by. It's daft, isn't it? You see, this is the entire thing. All the people that you've interviewed, all the great names and all that, from across the widest area of public life. And then the only thing after all that time that you remember before is being attacked by an emu. It's an Australian bird, that I hear, isn't it? I don't know why I'm so fond of Australia.
I think while you're here, you should steer clear of Taronga Zoo and other places where emus, because it might be you, Sir Michael.
Yeah, but it's an absurdity, you see. That's the entire thing, isn't it, this sort of television fame? It really is. Because no matter how famous they might be, they've got the same problems that you have. They've got the same conflicts inside them and all that.
Would a show like Parkinson even work today, given, for example, that celebrities can broadcast whatever they want to broadcast about themselves?
I don't know. I mean, it's just a different world, and I struggle terribly to actually try to be part of it. And the more I see of it and the more I operate within it, the more I'm glad that I had my career when I did. Now, that sounds terribly old-fashioned and all that, but it's, you can't take away from me what I knew about that world and what I know about this world, and it was different. The mystery's gone. I mean, when I first came into television to do a show with Showbiz Show, if you like, my great heroes were from the cinema. And when I had the great stars on, like, I don't know, Orson Welles and people like Jimmy Cagney and Fred Astaire, all that, all my heroes, I knew not a thing about them that wasn't written by Hedda Hopper or by a publicity department in Hollywood. It was all that. It was all fan stuff. I couldn't go to a machine like they can nowadays, but it's all there. There's nobody in the world who's that famous that people don't know anything about them. They know everything about them. So the entire mystery of the job has gone. And from my point of view, it was virgin territory. Because wherever I asked them, the people had never heard it before.
If you landed Donald Trump for an interview, how would you approach it?
God, perish the thought. Oh, dear. Donald Trump. Yes, I mean, there's not a journalist worth their salt who would not want to actually sit down with him and just sort of find out why he's such a ridiculous man. And I think you'd have to be equally ridiculous in a sense to try to imagine that you might get something from him. I think that's the problem. He's impenetrable in his idiocy, in my view. I mean, you watch him, you think, oh, what could I ask him? What could I do? What could I say? He's a very dangerous man, you know that.
You're here in Australia for a tour. You've spent a lot of time in Australia over the years. What do you like about coming here?
I arrived in Australia in a state of high dudgeon. I just had a row at the BBC. And it stirred up all those kind of working class feelings that somebody like myself has, you know, as against them. And I needed to get away. I imagined that if I went to Australia, nobody would know me and nobody would care and whatever. And I didn't find that at all. I got to the airport. In those days, they had the Sydney airport press conference, which was a fearsome thing. Well, the first question the guy asked me was it true that I was arrived in Australia because I couldn't get a job in England? And I'm driving to my hotel, and on the radio, a guy called me a carpetbagger. So it wasn't a place to be here, to have people pat you on the head and say, you'll be all right, you know, you're on your own. So it was I kind of admired that, I liked that. I just felt at home. I've been very happy here. I've had a wonderful time here, and this tour, it sounds kind of valedictory sense to it, but I'm not here to throw myself under a bus. I'm just here to say thank you because I've enjoyed my life here and I enjoy my career here. And I have lots and lots of very good friends here, so we're just saying ta-ra, basically.
You've had a serious illness recently, cancer. How has that changed you?
I think a lot. I mean, I couldn't tell you how, but I think it brings out the best and the worst in you, really. When I first of all had prostate cancer, it was, you know, you're shocked and you imagine the worst. But then, you know, you think about it, you talk to people who know these things, and you, if you're fortunate, you recover to the point where you can make fun of it.
When you look back over your life from your standpoint of 84 years, for what are you the most grateful?
My parents, I think. Because the likelihood of me achieving what I achieved from where I came from was very unlikely. I mean, England in those days, in the 30s, was very class-ridden. You're a miner, you knew your place, and the fact was that you were in the mining communities that you'll follow your dad down the pit. I mean, they took me down the pit and I was terrified. And that was the end of it. So I think just having parents like that changed my life, totally and utterly. I could never have done, even thought of doing whatever I have achieved without that.
Sir Michael, it's been lovely to chat to you. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Leigh Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 7:30's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.